So I don't know exactly what's going on with these guys, but Elon Musk is on TV saying, I used to think we could resist the AI takeover, but now we're going to merge with it, put electrodes in your brain. Starting next year, we're going to have kiosks at malls. You're going to come get your wires put into your brain. It'll be so trendy, and you won't be able to buy or sell in the future unless you have it, so everyone's going to have to accept this. He says all the classic biblical arguments, but for it. And he says that, you know, you're going to merge with it, and you're not going to be able to help it, and that's the way it is. And all three of the people he had during the 30-something minute presentation had giant pupils and were sweating profusely, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. Think about that.
InfoWars. The most banned network in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am wound up. The quickening is here. It is insane. Think about how everything that we've pioneered here on this broadcast is now out in the open, is now confirmed, is now in everybody's face. Total world government is openly being announced. Animal human clones, they're now admitting, are walking around. There is a planetary operation to reduce the human population by at least 90%. There is a total war on Christians going on a planetary scale. Massive, giant pedophile rings with the exact people I implicated 10 years ago with precisely what they were doing is also now coming out. But when I walk down the street, leftists point at me and they go, oh, where are the animal human clones? Oh, where are the pedophiles, Alex? Fake news. Yeah, well, doesn't work anymore. Here's Yahoo News, AP, Times of London. They're all reporting, ladies and gentlemen, that animal-human hybrids to be developed in Japan after ban controversy lifted. London Independent. Ladies and gentlemen, Hitler was able to clone rabbits. That was declassified in the 1960s. Hitler was able to clone rabbits, okay? They invented jets as well and atomic weapons, but the U.S. and the British went in and blew up his underground nuke facilities repeatedly. It's all the stuff people forget about World War II. Imagine how much more advanced things are today, okay? They had animal-human hybrids in the 1980s. It was admitted in scientific journals that I read on air in 1996. So there is an advanced future already taking place. There is already an advanced civilization. There is already a breakaway civilization, and it doesn't want the rest of us to be part of it. And so they need world government in place to keep other countries and other groups from developing technologies that have already been developed. People like Bill Gates are fronts for IBM and a huge Manhattan project of technocracy, which is to be a breakaway civilization. They made the decision to merge humans with machines because the globalists want to basically merge with silicon so they, quote, don't die. And they're going to use us as the guinea pigs in mass rollouts of this, but we'll be given the Trojan horse jacked systems. Now, the first clip I'm going to go to before I get into all this news today is up on Infowars.com and Newswars.com, and it's right dead center in the middle column of DrudgeReport.com. It's a Newswars.com article, and it's just a short 2-minute video clip out of the live show a few days ago, last week, where I simply asked the question, what's wrong with big tech's eyes? Because they're under white lights. Lights are in their faces. And they've got pupils that you only have when you are in starlight. When the moon's out, your eyes aren't dilated like that. And if your eyes are dilated like that and you're out walking around, you will burn out your corneas in a matter of hours. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen people on 3 hits of acid before, and their eyes don't get half that big. I've seen people on ecstasy, they don't get half that big. I've seen people literally at raves I went to in college who were taking LSD with peyote, you name it. It doesn't do that. It only gets half that dilated. The police, when they pull you over, shine a light in your eyes. Why do they do that? Because they train to know when you're on serious hallucinogens and some narcotics to do that. Tim Cook and all these guys have eyes so dilated that it would kill most people to have them that big. You'd be on so many drugs. When he's before Congress, when he is in testimony in China, when he is on TV at Grand Central Station with lights in his face, glaring, you can't even see his irises. This guy is on super hardcore drugs, or he's already had wires put in his brain, which is the end game goal of all of these people. The only one I've seen that doesn't have eyes like this is Bill Gates. So we need to think about the big picture here. Trump talked about secret technologies, advanced technologies, that the secrets of the universe that are already being discovered. He now is getting briefed on all this. That's why they're panicking and freaked out. And Trump wants to roll more of these out. They're keeping a lot of the projects secret from him. That's why they try to keep him isolated at the White House. That's why they're calling it an emergency that he's in there. First thing he did was say, hey, the average drug takes 5 years to approve, many of them 10 years. We're going to lift that for people that are already terminal or people that sign waivers. That's totally reasonable. That's a libertarian deal. The left didn't want that because there's a bunch of treatments and things that are basically cures that do work that the medical system has, but they're called disruptive technologies. And the life expectancy in the West is actually dropping. And our fertility is down 90% because they don't want us to have a future, ladies and gentlemen. So I don't know exactly what's going on with these guys, but Elon Musk is on TV saying, I used to think we could resist the AI takeover, but now we're going to merge with it, put electrodes in your brain. Starting next year, we're going to have kiosks at malls. You're going to come get your wires put into your brain. It'll be so trendy, and you won't be able to buy or sell in the future unless you have it, so everyone's going to have to accept this. He says all the classic biblical arguments, but for it. And he says that, you know, you're going to merge with it and you're not going to be able to help it. And that's the way it is. And all three of the people he had during the 30-something minute presentation had giant pupils and were sweating profusely, ladies and gentlemen. Think about that. Think about that. And so Matt Drudge, I'm very thankful, is linking to a lot of our special reports that we host on our own site, Infowars.com, because we're banned everywhere else. We host our own sites, and they're trying to take those down. I just wish it received as much attention as it does when it goes on Drudge, the biggest news site in the world, that we would even have a bigger report that goes through all the scientific evidence and their admissions. They're taking microdoses of drugs every day and doing all this. But it's like my message to the president that I know got to the president because Drudge linked to it. I wish I would have added how, you know, there's a deep state in control of big tech and how that's another reason the president really needs to act and how foreign powers are working with big tech. But still, the message got to the president, so thank you, Matt Drudge. Here is the censored report on what's going on with big tech's eyes. Here it is. You know, the top Nazi, Werner von Braun, wrote a 1959 book, or 1949 book, I'm going from memory here, called Project Mars, where the Elons are the aliens who end up taking over the Earth. Beware the Elons and the Elon invasion. Dr. Werner von Braun. Wonder what he knew. When I watched his promo about this with executives from his company, they all look like they're on hardcore drugs. I mean, they're like sweating. Their eyes are like lit up, like, I mean, they look nuts. I mean, you know when somebody's on drugs. You know, they admit Silicon Valley is into hardcore speed and hallucinogens. They're taking IV drips at work of DMT. They're taking LSD microdoses and psilocybin mushrooms and peyote every day. Who in the hell would want to join with these people? I've seen people take like 3 hits of acid, their eyes aren't that big. What the hell are they on? And one of the crew members said maybe they've already got this whole Neuralink wires hooked in their brain, because as PKD pointed out, Philip K. Dick back in the 70s, the cyberpunk future is where you can get any type of pleasure you want, just plug in. But no one wants to even get up or eat for weeks or days. You just die because you just plug all this in, and it's the Matrix. And now the Matrix is here, and you look at Tim Cook or Elon Musk or any of his executives, when they're up there on that stage, they'll be under white lights. Their pupils are 90% open. Zuckerberg, all of them, these people either have brain chips. That's it. These guys are wireheads. Something's going on. I'm in here underneath bright lights, and my pupils are very little. Zoom in if you can. And my pupils are tiny because I'm not on drugs. I've had 2 cups of coffee today. So here, let me show you my pupils, okay? My pupils are little. They're supposed to close. That's what happens under the sun or under bright lights, but not these guys. These are drug addicts, and they want the hit of wires in their brains, and all of them have got those giant pupils because they've been there, and they ain't coming back. And that's what happens when you die. Your pupils open up. And these guys are on hardcore drugs, and I guarantee it's going to come out. They've got brain implants, guaranteed. DrudgeReport.com. If you go to DrudgeReport.com, right in the center of the biggest news site in the world, you will see an image of an eyeball with an iris and a pupil. And it says, what's wrong with big tech's eyes? Well, what is wrong with big tech's eyes? And you click on that. Well, our great Kellen McBreen, without being asked to do it, one of our great writers, his dad's our head graphics guy. Kellen's already been here 5-6 years. Seems like forever, but just a day passed. He's already married, got a baby, whole 9 yards. Kellen, who started here in the warehouse 5, 6, 7 years ago, whatever it was, is a great writer. He's our best proofreader to make sure he finds all the typos. But he put together a very powerful article we've added to the DrudgeReport.com linked video. Silicon Valley elite, drugs, brain chips, and immortality, just to show you all the places and all the times they admit they're already trying to do this. And again, it's mainstream news today, AP, London Telegraph, that Japan's legalized human-animal hybrids. It's already going on. But again, next year's news, next decade's news today. So that's a very important article. And I forgot to tell some of our crew, I'm not on Twitter, not officially. I mean, I've got a covert account just so I can private message people and stuff. And that's a whole nother subject. I follow President Trump and I get 0 of his tweets. And I also get what they recommend. And it's never anybody that's a patriot, even though they can see what I'm following and what I'm doing. It's fraud is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. You think you're going somewhere to get a certain service, you're not getting it. It's just outrageous. We're going to go to Millie Weaver, too, who's right in front of the Fox Theater here in just a few minutes. And again, take your phone calls as well, just as soon as she's in place and ready. But I see them punching it up that as above, so below. She is right there in front of the Fox Clown Theater, where all this is going to be happening in Detroit, Michigan tonight. But again, that article is up on Infowars.com. And it's on DrudgeReport.com. What's wrong with Silicon Valley's eyes? And I came up with the idea. Sometimes people like my ideas and they go crazy with it, and then we change the world. Sometimes people don't care. But usually it's Drudge that seems to care, and he makes my ideas big and take off. So thank God to Matt Drudge. I'm serious. All I want to do is fight these people. And half the time, I wouldn't even have any success if it wasn't for Matt Drudge. Probably dangerous for him to give him so much credit, but damn it, he knows. Without him, we wouldn't have Trump any of this. But like going back to this, he's linked to our story where we have a whole article backing up where they're going for brain chips. They're taking micro dosages of drugs every day. These are crazy people. So that's up there. That's up there as well. But I had the idea, hashtag big, like what's wrong with big tech's eyes? Or maybe something shorter. Like what's wrong with big tech? What are like big tech's eyes? Can we all talk? I mean, what should it be? Big tech's eyes? Hashtag big tech's eyes, or hashtag have you seen big tech's eyes? I mean, I don't know, but they're on drugs. They admit they are. Well, today, InfoWars Life protein bar. I just devoured your cousin. InfoWars Life protein bar. They taste like candy bars. This is what I want. This is what I need. But my God, there's no fillers. But my God, it's solid. Protein bar, highest quality. 12 bars, highest quality. Now you can bite into it easily, but you're going to be like, what in the world's going on here? Well, today, InfoWars Life protein bar. I just devoured your cousin. InfoWars Life This is important. I'm 45 years old. When I was 35, I swam up to 2 miles a day sometimes and would jog and couldn't lose weight because I didn't have the missing links. I was deficient in things that nobody ever told me I was deficient in. I knew all about the private Federal Reserve, the Trilateral Commission, the New World Order, Jeffrey Epstein and the pedophile rings. I knew all about geopolitical systems and the old Soviet Union and how the globals put the Chi comes in. But I didn't know about PQQ. I didn't know about CoQ10. I didn't know about all this. And I didn't know about clean iodine. And yeah, I want to fund my operation. I want you to get products that have changed my life and changed so many other people's lives that have 98% reviews, and then experience that I'm not BSing you. So that for some of you, maybe in the first time in your life, you're going to experience somebody that treats you like they want to be treated. Let me tell you something right now. You see DNA Force? I went out to top manufacturers, they're the most respected, most highly tested, and I said, I want the strongest PQQ, CoQ10 overall formula that has pure, non-synthetic stuff in it that's ever been put on the market. And they said, well, that's like a $22 each bottle. I said, I want to put $50 a bottle in. They said, nobody's ever done that. Then I signed a contract to double the amount I was going to buy. I got it down to $30-something a bottle for what it cost me to make this. Nobody does that. Ladies and gentlemen, you read what's in this and you research every ingredient in this and then you experience it for yourself. It's incredible.
InfoWars presents The David Knight Show, The Alex Jones Show, and The War Room with Owen Schroyer. InfoWars.com/show.